Guys, do not change your channel. I really mean that. I am at DFF today in Massachusetts, and I'm excited to be with my buddy Bob. I'm gonna jump right into the significance of what this company does. Instead of welcoming you all here, which I normally do from around the world, I just want you guys to meet Bob. I want to talk about this company. You know how we've been talking about over and over again about the reshoring of components, about how we can utilize automation to pay an ROI back, to pay for our company to get jobs going quicker, faster, how it's not actually taking jobs, but it's giving more jobs to the industry, and we're doing things more accurately. This company, DFF, is doing exactly that. And that's why I have Bob here with me today to help me explain to you, it's not just a theory. We are really doing this. We are reshoring. We are creating a significant change in the industry with DFF. So Bob, thank you so much for being with MTD.
Well, you're welcome. Glad to have you.
Appreciate it, Bob. So you've been with DFF, I believe, 26 years now, and DFF started in 1969. Is that correct?
That's correct. I've been here for 26 years. We started in 1969. This is our third facility. We've grown quite a bit. We're on 23 acres now, 300,000 square feet of manufacturing space, spaced out between 3 buildings.
Well, guys, I got to go on a magnificent tour from Bob, and he blew my mind on everything they're doing here. As much as I wish I could share everything with you, you're going to eventually have to go to the website. Let's start toward the beginning of 1969. I know you guys work closely with Amazon, and there's been some massive growth. Can you tell us a little bit about the growth over the years?
Well, again, back in '69, we started off in the semiconductor business, machining small components, and then we saw some opportunity and had some requests from our customers to do some assembly as well. So we grew that portion of the business. We outgrew one facility in a nearby town, moved to another facility in another nearby town, outgrew that in the mid-90s, early 90s, and we moved to our current facility here in Agawam, Massachusetts.
Agawam, Massachusetts. I knew what the words looked like. I was trying to figure out how to say it because it's such a neat word. So you've outgrown, this is your third building now, and you're still growing continually to this day. We
are, and we're busting out at the seams right now. We've got plans in place to create more manufacturing space in our larger building, Building 59, the one we're in right now. And that's going to involve making some site changes to Building 79, the middle building, moving some smaller equipment over into that building, and allowing more room for some larger machinery in the current building we're in now, Building 59, to support demand from our existing customers and new customers that want to get in the door with DFF and partner up with us.
Well, you mentioned large machines, which I think is something I'd like to touch on a little bit, because the machines you have here, they're a good size. We're not talking about small Swiss lathes. We're not talking about small components. We're talking about massive castings that you guys manufacture here.
We specialize in mid to large size components, specifically castings, and we have the machines to handle those size components. They're 630 size horizontal machining centers up to 1050 horizontal machining centers, 5-axis machines as well. And we have a variety of vertical machining centers with dual pallets, 30 by 60 travel sizes to accommodate these mid to large size castings and other mid to large size components as well. And we partnered up with several different customers in the semiconductor industry, robotics industry, medical, more specifically biomedical, analyzing equipment, electric hybrid motor business as well, buses, transportation. We produce thermal management systems for those hybrid engines, along with engine components, including stators and the housings and all the components that go with them.
You guys really are dabbling in pieces everywhere. As they say, don't put all your eggs in one basket, right? You guys are doing an excellent job at that. And what I see makes you unique is the capacity of your machines and the amount of output you're able to create due to your automated systems that you have here. Also, would you find that to be true?
That's absolutely true. And again, with one particular customer who in the robotics industry, as you can see behind us, we're building robots with robots. We've installed 2 robotic cells, 2 Fanuc robots, a total of 31 machining centers that those robots support for an approximate yearly output of 200,000 units. And there is still more demand for these particular units, along with our other customers who increased demand during these challenging times of COVID. Their businesses are growing, and this robotic business that we're supporting is in distribution. So you can imagine how online shopping has affected their business and in turn affected ours. So we're growing as quickly as we can. We've installed a robotic cell, the one you see behind me. It took 6 months from inception to completion. That includes all of the site work, pads for the machines. We had to remove walls, dig for electrical connections to all the machines and the robots, and we put that system in record time. The first system took upwards of 14 months. So we did what a lot of people didn't think we could do, and it's now up and running for the past 2 months, and we're producing at output.
Well, you touched on a lot of subjects there, and there's a lot more I want to go over within that paragraph. The first thing I'd like to touch on is you mentioned it's in distribution, and distribution really grew over the last year. But you guys nearly doubled your employees, like hiring, right? You hired almost 200 people in 2019, and you're still looking to hire another 60, if I'm not mistaken?
Correct. We're currently at roughly 350 employees. Last year at this time, we hired, since last year at this time, approximately 160, and we are planning on and looking for an additional 60 employees to both man our automated cells, and we're also looking for precision machinists, CNC programmers, and engineers.
Guys, if you pay attention to the timeline, automation was implemented at a 6-month rate, which is fantastic on its own. There was automation prior to that, which was about 14 months, which is still great. But if you notice what Bob said, he said we hired approximately 160 people and are looking for approximately 60 more. And this includes with the implementation and automation. Now, I know there's some folks out there that are a little bit worried that robots are going to take their job. This is obviously not the case.
No, not at all. In fact, these systems are creating jobs, and they're not at operator level. The parts still need to be managed flowing in and out of these systems. They need to be inspected at the systems, and of course, obviously, there's more thorough inspections that go on within our inspection department, but there's still in-process inspections that need to take place right out at the shop floor as the product exits the systems. And a lot of it involves the knowledge of hand measurement tools and height gauges and equipment like that to be able to measure features, along with, again, the enhanced measurement that goes on in the QC area.
Bob, you mentioned to me that DFF competes on a global scale. And the reason I bring this up is because a lot of people now are starting to realize that the average number or the average amount of time that a spindle turns in a machine shop is about 40% of the time. With automation like you've done, you're able to increase that, which allows you to globally compete by keeping that spindle turning, adding the automation and the correct employees in place, which allows you to continually hire as well. Do you find that this automation has helped you increase the output while continually growing and competing on a global scale?
Absolutely. These systems run at about 90 to 95% efficiency. They're monitored with zero downtime software and Datanomics machine utilization software as well. And the processes start, of course, up in engineering, where we have all the latest technology, including verification, simulation, and the latest programming softwares and engineering design softwares, so we can develop the most efficient processes possible for these machines. And again, it's the utilization software out at the machine tools, ZDT, zero downtime, and the Datanomics utilization software that helps us to monitor and see when issues occur, and we're able to address them real time and immediately. It's made us very efficient, again, running in the 90 to 95% efficiency rate, which is extremely good for this type of manufacturing.
And Datanomics has helped you reach this potential.
Absolutely. Their software is state of the art. We've worked with them for over a year now, implementing their software. It's implemented, it's functioning. We have monitors set up throughout the shop so that the operators, the machinists, and the managers can see the flow of material. They can see the machine utilization. They can see whether the output is what it's supposed to be, because we have a demand for shipping a certain amount of product to our customer every week, and we need to maintain that demand, especially now during these times when their demand is increasing.
Well, you've mentioned to me earlier, based on this topic, how you have so many different components that go into what you do. And so these itemized lists of inventory are not just helpful to you, but helpful to the people that you work with as well, because they can forecast some of the orders they have to place as well, right?
Yeah, that's correct. We have several methods of inventory control. We use clear to build sheets, the bill of materials from the customer, and it allows us to monitor our supply chain to make sure that the components that we assemble to the machine components that we are producing are here on time, so we can manufacture and produce these assemblies on time as well.
And as far as your robotic line, how quick was your ROI, at least on your first system that took 14 months, which is still a great time to implement? And I believe it's a CETA that's helping you guys implement this process. But what is your average ROI for something like that?
So yeah, it was a CETA and is a CETA. They are our integrator automator. We work closely with them from inception to completion. We have probably a total investment between automation and machine tools upwards of above $20 million. The first cell, the ROI was approximately between 1.5 years to 2 years. It has paid for itself already. Now with the implementation of the second cell, we expect 1.5 years ROI on that as well, which is extremely reasonable considering that type of an investment.
The reason this is significant, and Bob said millions, 20 million, I think you said, and an ROI of 1.5 to 2 years. The reason this is important to me, and the reason I want to bring this up again and again, is because this automation, again, not taking jobs, adding jobs, able to pay off quickly and create more work, as you see going around this amazing location that's continually growing. And speaking of that growth, you mentioned to me, Bob, a few years ago having about 10 machines that instantly jumped to 40-some machines. Would you mind talking a little bit about that machine growth that you've had over the last few years?
Yeah, sure. So again, maybe in the last 5 years, we've probably put in 55 to 60 machine tools, about 45 of those supporting the robotics systems that we manufacture. We originally started out with this robotics manufacturer about 7 years ago, and we had 4 to 5 machine tools we were using. And then each year we added a couple more and a couple more till 3 years ago when their growth just went through the roof. And they came to us and they asked us to become a strategic partner in their business. And we saw an opportunity and we took some risk and we made some investment on our own, and it paid off for us.
The majority of your machines are which brands?
Well, we rely heavily on Kitamuras. We feel they're a very high-end machine. They're a good value for the money. Their controllers are state-of-the-art. They designed their own controller. It's a Mitsubishi controller with a Fanuc facade, so it's very user-friendly. It has infinite look ahead. It keeps the tool in the cut very well, does a great job for us. Very little downtime.
Very well said. Overall, about how many machines do you have in all of your buildings?
So we have a total of 118 CNC machine tools. We have a large we have a large tool room that uses NC equipment as well, 2 and 3-axis machines to help with the manufacture of our fixturing. We do all our fixturing in-house, we design it in-house, we build it in-house. We weld up the fixtures, we don't do production welding, and then they're manufactured next door in our tool room. We also use the tool room for some secondary operations, some one-offs, and some prototyping as well.
Before we go, is there anything that you would like to share with our audience about DFF as far as the direction you'd like to grow toward, the type of clients that you'd like to bring in? What would you like to convey to the audience that I've failed to convey so far?
Yeah, sure. So we are trying to diversify even more so than we already are. We're looking very closely at some customers in defense, in aerospace. We have some customers that are interested in partnering with us on some larger projects that we're looking at right now. We're willing to look at customers if they have anything that might fit us. Again, mid to large size parts, castings we specialize in. We machine plenty of billet material as well. So there's no business segment that we would not look at or have interest in. We prefer partner type relationships, and we like to grow with our customers. We have a lot to offer in regards to design for manufacture and design for assembly, and we help many of our customers. In fact, we help all our customers with that and more, GD&T, assist, and so on. And so this allows us to partner with larger companies that don't have the resources they once had, especially in the engineering area.
Very, very well said. And if someone liked what you just said, just like I did, where would they find you? How can they get in touch with you? How can they learn more about what you do? And if they want a product and you can make that product, how would they find you?
Well, I guess you would start by looking at our website, DFF.com. And in the website, there's, of course, the management team is there. You can reach out to our sales department. Travis Orsolak is our lead salesman, and he would gladly reach out to the necessary people here at DFF and work out an arrangement to either meet or have a conversation, or via email communicate back and forth your customer or customer's needs, and we can see if it's a fit for us, and you would be able to tell if we're a fit for you.
Absolutely love it. Guys, DFF.com, reach out. These guys are remarkable. Bob, thank you so much for being an inspiration and allowing me to come in and see your operation. It is magnificent. Thank you for being a part of MTD Global.